Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days, and welcome to an excited Wrestling Days, because this is the best WWE Basic figures of 2018. You might remember recently we did our best Elite figures of 2018. There is a link on screen to that video. I will put a link at the end of this video to it as well. And that was a lot of fun. We looked at a top 30. And we went through all the best Elite figures of 2018. Obviously, we can do it now because we know everything that's come out. We know everything that's coming out. And it just makes sense because it might help some of you with your Christmas lists to do it now. So that's why I've got these videos done now. So with that being said, we also did this, the best battle packs of 2018 as well. They don't make that many battle packs, so this is just the top 10, but some really interesting sets in there. So again, you can see there's a link on screen. Click on that link and that will take you to that video. Again, I'll put the link at the end of this one. But all of that to one side, this is about WWE Mattel Basic figures. We are going to have a look at a top 20. I thought we would do 20. We did 30 Elites. We did 10 Battle Packs. Let's go in the middle. Let's do 20 Basics. These are the top Basics of 2018. So with that being said, let's get straight to it. Here at number 20, you can see Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak. This is Basic Series 91. It's True FX, I believe. Now, True FX is this brand new face scanning technology. And it's really, really improved the figures. Like, they can make the figures look a lot more like the wrestlers now. And they've done a great job with this. But it's just that facial expression just kind of, it stops looking like Drew Gulak. It's like, it's so good. Like, they've captured his face, they've captured his facial expression, but I think it was just the wrong facial expression. I mean, he looks disgusted. He looks like he's turning his nose up, which is fine. That's in line with the Drew Gulak character, but I think it just distorts the figure a little bit. So, yeah, I think we're on the right track. Just maybe it was a little bit too animated. Number 19, we've got another True FX figure. This is Finn Balor. And I love what they've done with the facial hair here. Because in the past, it would have been like thick, black, splodged onto the face. Whereas here, you can see that it's a little bit more delicate. And it looks really good. There's still something not quite right about this figure. I can't quite put my finger on what it is. But I feel like it's almost there. They just need to change one more thing, make one more step forward, and then they will have a fantastic Finn Balor. That is why these two rank just a little bit lower in my list, because it's almost there. Number 18, we've got Aiden English. I think this is awesome. This is a little bit more from when he was with Rusev. I think the figures we had before this, he was in the Vaudevillains. Like, you're really, really going back. So, yeah, very, very cool. It's a great looking figure. And that is Basic Series 90. Number 17, I couldn't separate these. They're a tag team anyway. It's The Bar. This is Sheamus and Cesaro. Basic Series 89. I think the Cesaro looks maybe better than the Sheamus, but there's not a great deal in it. Both together obviously give you the tag team The Bar. And I just think they're great figures. Couldn't really separate them, so I kind of cheated and put them both in at number 17. Number 16, I think this figure is just okay, but it is such an improvement on the Elite. It is this Rhino, and this Rhino is a massive improvement on the Rhino Elite. They've obviously fixed the arms. The arms were way too big on the Elite figure. They've made that change here. this is easily the best Rhino figure that they've made. So yeah, it might just be this Rhino is a very good figure, but perhaps I'm just going a little bit giddy on it because it is such an improvement on that Elite. Next up, we've got The Rock. This is Basic Series 86. We've had a lot of Rock figures in recent years. I just think this is a really strong one. I just really like it. As soon as I saw it, I thought they'd done a really good job with it. I like the attire. There's a little bit of detail in there. There's really not much to dislike about it. So that's why it makes my top 20. The next one is a little bit weird. This is a builder figure. So you had to collect all the figures in this series, put all the pieces together, and then you could build Howard Finkel. Howard Finkel was JoJo from the 1980s, 1990s. Yeah, ring announcer and massive fan of wrestling. He was on Legends House. I think he does like a lot of conventions these days. Really comes across like a really nice guy. And this comes across like a really great figure. Number 13, we've got Ric Flair styling and profiling. This is Ric Flair from the Flashback series. Looks really cool. Really cool. It's like 80s Ric Flair in a suit. Kind of like Four Horsemen. I know he's not in his wrestling attire. They've obviously done a lot of Ric Flair in wrestling attire. But this comes with the glasses. I just thought it looked really cool. I just really liked it. Number 12, something very different. We've gone with a Monsters figure. This is Jake the Snake. You can see he's got a snake wrapped around his shoulders. Well, two snakes actually with two heads. You can move the mouths open and closed. I love Jake. One of my all-time favourite wrestlers. So this figure really interested me. Number 11, we've got another one from that series, this Undertaker. Now, I know this won't be to everyone's taste, but these figures, when I bought them, were like £10 each. And they're very animated, fun, colourful. Obviously the Jake had the two snakes. This Undertaker comes with wings, and I just think, like, if you're an Undertaker fan, it's something a little bit different. If you're into playing with your figures, I think you could get quite a bit of fun out of this. They're big figures, they're interesting. I was into them, and for the $9.99 that I paid, I really felt like I was getting a bargain. It's a real shame because this year the zombie figures that were, I think, normally around $12.99, they went up to like 20 odd pounds. So that's why none of the zombie figures, which were exceptional this year, that's why none of them could make my basics list, because they're not the price of a basic. If anything, they've gone up to elites now, even though the articulation isn't there and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, a little bit disappointing in that. But anyway, that brings us to number 10. Number 10, Kofi Kingston from Basic 81. I just think it's a great looking figure. You could get the others, Big E and Xavier, in a battle pack. So this completes a New Day set. And I think it's really fun attire. This is New Day Pops attire, I believe. You can see like the ice pops all over their ring attire. And I just think it's a great looking Kofi. Lots of detail. I love the figure. Number 9, we've got Jason Jordan from Series 87. The reason this isn't higher is because I don't think they made a Chad Gable to go with it. This is Jason Jordan in basic ring attire from when he was in American Alpha. But it's just a bit weird because I don't think they've released his tag partner. There was a Chad Gable that came out, but he was in like bright orange. He wasn't in this ring attire. It might have been because they had split up by this point, so maybe there wasn't a reason to make American Alpha figures in the same attire. But yeah, that's why it's so low down, because you would only be able to get him on his own, but still, absolutely fantastic figure. Next up, we got Seth Rollins. Love this figure. Open mouth expression, like screaming expression. I think it looks really cool. Again, he's got the top on. Just a lot of detail here. I think this was a really good Seth figure. And then we've got Alexa Bliss. This is Series 85. Again, really strong. You can actually compare it to an Alexa Bliss that came out later in the line. And I think you can see that this Series 85 was much better. That one later in the line is horrible. It's like something from a horror film. But this Alexa Bliss, I think, just looks really, really cool. Number 6, we got Bobby Roode, the glorious one. And I think this looks great. They've done a few elites of Bobby Roode, but this looks absolutely bang on for a basic. If you're not interested in the belts or entrance gear, stuff like that, you just want a figure to play with, this Bobby Roode was a really good option. Number 5 on the list, I've got DIY from the NXT Takeover range. This was the first time to line for Johnny Gargano. Tommaso Ciampa couldn't separate them, didn't want to separate them. I think the Tommaso Ciampa probably looks a bit better, but Johnny Gargano was, at this point, when it came out, super popular. Obviously, he's kind of turned heel now, so yeah, fascinating figures, fantastic first time to lines, and obviously they did make elites, but honestly, if you got these basics, I think you got some really great figures anyway. Number 4, Ronda Rousey. This was a massive figure. Absolutely huge. First time to line for Ronda Rousey. I'm sure a lot of you saw the video where I got one of these. I was fortunate enough to get one of these. I freaked out over getting one of these so early and actually getting my hands on it. And it is a great figure. It does have the belly button issue. That does hold it back. But really, outside of that, I thought the face scan was really strong. I love the hair sculpt. I love the t-shirt, the attire. It's obviously what she was wearing when she made her debut at the Royal Rumble. Great, just really great. Love it. Still love it. Number 3, True FX again. Roman Reigns. This is, again, Elite Series 90. Looks really cool. Again, what we were saying before, they used to just paint the beards on quite heavy-handedly, whereas now you can see they take a little more care, and I think that's down to the True FX. I just think the likeness is really good. I just think the figure's really good. So that is my number 3. Number 2 on the list, the runner-up, Dana Brooke. The detail on this figure is staggering. I absolutely love this figure, and for a long time thought it was going to be number 1. I couldn't see how anything was going to beat this. It reminded me a lot of Nia Jax from last year. Like, I was giddy about Nia Jax because it was so detailed, and I really felt that way about this Dana Brooke. Just love the ring attire. I think they got the face bang on, hair sculpt was fine, everything, they just got everything right. It's a brilliant, brilliant figure. It is my second best basic of the year. But my number 1 on this list has only just snuck in at the very end of the year. This figure is breathtaking. The elite of this figure was breathtaking and also featured on that elite video we were talking about earlier. I'm talking about Shinsuke Nakamura from Basic 91. Even though the ring attire might not be setting the world on fire, that face scan is. Again, I think it's True FX. It looks just like a little Shinsuke. It's as if they've got Shinsuke and shrunk him down to figure size. They have done a staggering, breathtaking job with this Shinsuke Nakamura. It is absolutely incredible. no doubt in my mind, the best basic of this year is this Shinsuke Nakamura. So there it is, guys. That is my top 20 basics of the year. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did I miss anyone off? I'm sure a lot of you are probably shouting AJ Styles, stuff like that. I can tell you AJ was just outside that top 20. But honestly, I'm quite happy with this top 20. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully, see you again next time. Bye for now.